Oil pivoting around $80 a barrel, that's a clear negative for the big net importers. So should we be reducing exposure to the likes of India, for example?
Well, something to watch closely. I think it's average prices that do matter for some of the big importers over time. So a short-term spike on its own, not enough to worry about. I think it ultimately comes back to the difference between the short-term and the long-term outlook for oil. Because in the short term, we've clearly got a lot of price-supportive news. I suppose the question for us is how much more can this price sort of move in the sense of how much more bad news can we get? And I think that really counterbalanced against when you start looking out into 2019, the demand-supply balance actually starts turning less supportive for oil. There's much more supply relative to demand. So you're not getting the same level of fundamental support.
And just for the record, what's the house view at Stanchart on where oil's going to end the year?
Well, we think we should be on a 12-month basis, which is the horizon we take. We think we're more likely to be in sort of a $55 to $75 range. It's a little bit lower than where we are today. And the reason for that is simply when we look out beyond the next few months and really take that one-year view, we're looking at the basic demand-supply fundamental. That's what caused us to have a bullish view all the way, coming in over the past year or two. But that's what's causing us to say, look, how much can this go if we start really looking beyond, I guess, the next 3 months?
The problem for many EM countries in this region, if not globally, is that they have cut fuel subsidies. So in many respects, they are that much more exposed to international oil market volatility.
Well, yes, and I think that's where the country-by-country or market-by-market conversation becomes more important. Because if you look at emerging market assets as a whole, generally speaking, they tend to be well supported by higher commodity prices, higher oil prices. And it's logical to see why, when the exporter is benefiting. I suppose it ultimately comes down to degree. At what point do higher oil prices start hurting? And look, a lot of that conversation comes back to the impact on inflation and external balances.
Is it hurting now? Or is it more a story that we're going to be talking about between 85 and 90?
I think prices would have to most probably rise a little bit further. And you can see that in the price action between Asian and non-Asian assets. It's really markets which already had significant current account deficits like Turkey. That's where you're seeing the pain. In Asia, yes, in India and Indonesia, you're seeing some of that being just come through in the currency markets, but it's not happening in a big way as yet.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.